Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah.
Federal Homeland Security, with the help of local law enforcement, executing 2 searches in 2 cities at the same time.
Everyone is aware of Shah, from creating some of the most recognizable hip-hop tunes to becoming a successful businessman. Diddy Combs is one of the most well-known figures in the entertainment industry. Even though Diddy has always been at the top of his game, his reputation recently took a serious damage that has everyone talking, and not in a good way. This is not your normal celebrity drama. Instead, D has found himself in some fairly severe legal difficulties. The claims surrounding these charges have utterly shocked the entertainment business and left many wondering what was actually going on behind the scenes all these years.
He controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
Let us begin with the most shocking revelation. Diddy is currently facing charges of trafficking and racketeering. Yes, you read that right. These charges are a part of a large-scale case that has been building against Diddy for a while, but the details are just now becoming clear. What really got people talking, though, was when it became clear that Diddy was implicated in what he called freak-offs, which are extravagant parties that aren't just about having a good time. The FBI has reportedly been looking into these events for some time. So how did it all come to this? Let's take a look back and break it down.
Do not prepare for a trial. They put so much pressure on the defense team and on the defendant with the amount of evidence they have and witnesses and electronic surveillance evidence, all of that into a package. They don't move forward until they have you. And Diddy is in a lot of trouble with the Southern District being at the point they're at right now.
Back in 2018, a man named Jonathan A. came through with an unexpected piece of the puzzle. He wasn't well known or a celebrity. In fact, his name only became apparent because he was involved in a bizarre shooting incident at a Trump hotel in Miami. After he was arrested, Jonathan A. began speaking, and his words had a profound impact. The story he told during an interrogation that he claimed to be a part of, and what he disclosed wasn't simply a casual, "I met him once" kind of scenario. Rather, it was something more stranger and deeper.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people.
Whether or not you believe in conspiracy theories, Jonathan Audi claimed to have been drawn into a shadowy world involving Diddy, powerful elites, and an enigmatic group known as the Bull, a covered organization that is frequently compared to the Illuminati. People were drawn to Jonathan's narrative because it seemed to corroborate some of the allegations that had been circulating around Diddy for years, rather than solely because of his outrageous accusations.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
This is where things start to get interesting. After Jonathan A. was questioned, many people dismissed him as just another conspiracy theorist, but some of the things he said made a lot more sense when additional accusations about Diddy surfaced. What had seemed like nonsense in 2018 suddenly took on a much darker and more serious tone. Actual legal cases were being filed, and the accounts aligned with what Jonathan had said years earlier.
So what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released to his mansion.
Today, Diddy is being investigated for federal offenses in New York City that could result in a lengthy prison sentence if found guilty. These charges are related to what are being called freaky offs, which are organized parties with intense pressure that went far beyond what one would anticipate from a celebrity gathering. According to multiple accounts, these events involved coercing people into situations they didn't want to be in, all while Diddy was allegedly watching and orchestrating the entire event.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap.
Additionally, there are rumors that these gatherings were videotaped, maybe for the purpose of blackmail, which adds even more mystery and scandal to the tale. In order to fully comprehend the depth of this, we must examine one of the crucial parts of this puzzle: Ventura Cassie Diddy's longtime girlfriend, Cassie, filed a lawsuit against him that provides a horrifying account of what life was actually like for her. Cassie claimed that she endured years of physical and emotional abuse, and that she was even made to take part in those infamous freak-offs.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate, tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was.
In her complaint, Cassie describes experiences that uncannily closely match the rumors Jonathan A. first discussed in 2018. If you believe Cassie is just one bitter ex, think again. Many other women have come out with similar accounts, lending credence to the charges.
Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band.
Dirty Money.
Dirty Money, the Danity Kane era. So basically what she is alleging, she's alleging a lot of different things.
This leads us to the crucial question. Could Jonathan I be the key witness in his case? It may seem unlikely, but in circumstances like these, you never know which odd puzzle piece will finally fit together and make everything make sense. In light of the more recent accusations and litigation, together with Jonathan's strange assertions regarding Diddy, it appears that the man may have been leading a double life for some time.
There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
To get a clearer understanding of how these cases work, we spoke with someone who knows this world inside and out, retired NYPD Detective Tom Smith. If you think this is just another celebrity scandal, think again. Detective Smith explained that the U.S. Attorney's Office doesn't move forward with a case unless it's rock solid. According to Smith, when the U.S. Attorney steps in, it means they gathered everything they need. They've been building this case for years, and once they make their move, it's usually game over. So this isn't just a fleeting accusation. This case has been in development for a long time, and it appears they have substantial evidence to back it up.
That clearly there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
The public is fascinated with the specifics of Diddy's purported secret life, including who, what, when, where, and why. One of the most talked about aspects of this entire saga is the notion that these freak-offs weren't just crazy celebrity parties, but rather something much darker, according to multiple sources. Of course, the real drama here isn't just about what happens in court. It was said that Diddy utilized these events to manipulate others around him, and that numerous of these sessions were recorded by covert cameras.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these sexual performances that have been named freak-offs.
Let's talk about those cameras for a moment. According to Jonathan A.'s interview, Diddy's homes were allegedly set up with surveillance equipment that recorded everything that occurred inside. This wasn't your typical security setup either. According to Jonathan, the cameras were hidden and recorded footage that could be used as leverage against anyone who got too close to disclosing the truth. In fact, Jonathan claimed that some very well-known people were caught on tape at these parties engaging in behavior that they would not want to be made public. This adds another level of complexity to the case because everyone is worried about these recordings turning up.
Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied.
We've seen a number of celebrities distance themselves from Diddy since these allegations surfaced, and that's no coincidence. No one wants to be associated with this kind of scandal, especially if there's a chance that footage exists showing them doing something they'd rather keep private. Whether or not these tapes will ever see the light of day is anyone's guess, but the mere thought of them has already caused panic among some of the biggest names in entertainment.
The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to inform the DEA. They move all the dope, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by DEA.
Where does all of this go then? Diddy, things aren't looking good despite his legal team's best efforts to refute the claims against him. The The evidence is mounting, and the more that surfaced, the worse things appear to be for him. Even though Cassie's lawsuit was the first to fall from grace, it's obvious that there is much more to this story. As more women come forward and the investigation is conducted, it appears that we are only beginning to learn the truth about what actually occurred during Diddy's infamous parties.
This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records, label owner.
There's also been a lot of talk about the conditions Diddy is facing while he awaits trial. Unlike many celebrities who receive special treatment behind bars, Diddy isn't getting any VIP privileges. Reports have emerged about where he's being held and what life is like inside, but we'll cover that in the next section. Before wrapping up this part, it's important to mention that Diddy isn't staying silent. In fact, he's been very vocal in denying the allegations. After Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy took to social media to defend himself, calling the accusations sickening and accusing those involved of being after his money and reputation. He's also made it clear that he's ready to fight the charges in court and clear his name once and for all. However, as the legal battle intensifies, it's becoming increasingly clear that this case isn't going to disappear. The question now is whether Diddy can prove his innocence, or if these allegations will mark the downfall of one of entertainment's biggest names.
Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability, she wants justice.
With so many unanswered questions, one thing is certain. This is a story that's far from over, and it's only going to get more intense as the trial approaches. Everyone is closely following this story to see what happens next. Will more people come forward with similar claims? Will the alleged tape surface? And most importantly, will Diddy be able to clear his name, or is this the beginning of the end for the music mogul?
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit.
Let's now explore Shah's life, which everyone has been eager to learn about. This is not just another celebrity incident with the rich and famous getting off with a slap on the wrist, according to Diddy's Behind Bars. Diddy is in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for being harsh on inmates, particularly those who have fallen from such incredible heights. He is facing real consequences in this situation, and his living conditions are far from the glamorous lifestyle he is used to. Diddy is no longer living in a penthouse, wearing designer clothing, or attending elite parties.
Clients describe MDC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
So how is Diddy handling life in lockup? Let's just say it's not pretty. For someone who spent decades surrounded by luxury, the cold, harsh reality of prison life is a massive shock. According to multiple reports, Diddy is being held in a special housing unit, which adds an extra layer of security and isolation. This isn't your typical cell block. This unit is designed for inmates who need to be separated from the general population, either for their own safety or the safety of others. Given the nature of Diddy's charges, it's no surprise authorities have placed him in this more secure area. Now let's get into the details. The special housing unit is infamous for its conditions. Inmates are confined to their cells for 23 hours a day, with just 1 hour of outdoor recreation. The cells are small, cramped, and far from comfortable. For someone like Diddy, who's used to living in multi-million-dollar mansions, this must feel like a nightmare. Imagine going from hosting lavish Beverly Hills parties to being locked in a room barely big enough to stretch your legs. The contrast couldn't be more extreme. One source familiar with the facility described it as claustrophobic and dehumanizing, a world away from Diddy's usual lifestyle. There's no room service, no private chefs, and certainly no personal assistants catering to his every whim. He's eating the same basic meals as everyone else, a far cry from the gourmet dishes he once posted on Instagram. Rumor has it Diddy has already lost weight, which isn't surprising given how mentally and physically draining his situation must be. And let's not forget the noise. Prisons are loud places, filled with constant yelling, doors slamming, and alarms going off at all hours of the day and night. It's nothing like the peace and quiet of a soundproof studio or the privacy of a luxury home. This kind of environment would be unsettling for anyone, but for someone who's spent decades controlling their surroundings, it's an entirely new level of discomfort.
I ain't gonna lie.
According to some sources, Diddy has been placed on self-harm watch. This is a normal practice for prominent prisoners, particularly those who are facing accusations that could result in a lengthy sentence. The pressure must be immense because, as you may recall, Diddy went from being a media mogul with seemingly limitless power to a man facing serious legal trouble. The charges are not the only thing at stake. There is also the public humiliation, the loss of his empire, and the knowledge that regardless of the outcome of the case, his image will be permanently tarnished.
Well, either way, if you got to run to a private island because your evil doings are doing so much and they storming your house, it's one of these.
What's more, being in a special housing unit means Diddy has very limited contact with the outside world. Sure, he has access to his legal team and is undoubtedly working closely with his high-powered lawyers to fight the charges, but beyond that, his communication is minimal. Gone are the days of rubbing shoulders with celebrities, attending high-profile events, and living the fast-paced lifestyle that has defined him for so long. But it's not just the physical realities of prison Diddy is facing. There's also a heavy psychological toll. These allegations go far beyond typical tabloid gossip. They carry the weight of accusations that could land him in prison for years, if not decades. The FBI and federal prosecutors are coming down hard, and Diddy knows that this isn't a battle he can win with charm or money alone. The walls are closing in, and the gravity of his situation is starting to sink in.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
And let's be honest, there's a lot of conjecture over Diddy's emotional stability. Some insiders claim he's attempting to maintain composure, but it's obvious that this is a significant burden for him because more than just his freedom is at risk, his entire legacy is at risk. For years, he worked to build an empire and a brand that was associated with power, wealth, and success. However, all of that is now in jeopardy, and there's a good chance that rather than being remembered for his business endeavors or his music, people will remember him for the scandals and charges that have come to characterize the latter half of his career.
And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid this.
Meanwhile, outside the prison walls, the media frenzy rages on. Every day brings new reports, leaks, and rumors about Diddy's case. While he may be cut off from most of it, you can bet he's aware of what's being said. After all, his entire life has revolved around maintaining control over his image, his business, and the people around him. But now, for the first time, that control has slipped from his grasp, and he's at the mercy of a legal system determined to hold him accountable. So what's next for Diddy? While his legal team is fighting hard to secure his release on bail, it's looking unlikely. Prosecutors have made it clear they view Diddy as a flight risk and believe he poses a threat to witnesses. They're painting a picture of a man who, for years, used his wealth and influence to silence those around him, and they're not willing to give him the chance to do it again.
Allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of bad behavior.
With his kind of money, it wouldn't be impossible for Diddy to disappear. So for the time being, Diddy is behind bars waiting for his day in court. Sources claim that Diddy's legal team offered an astounding $50 million in bail, even offering to use his Florida mansion as collateral. But the judge wasn't having it.
Diddy has been under criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York. And if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been described.
Let's not forget the public's role in all of this. The reaction has been nothing short of intense. Fans who once idolized Diddy are now deeply divided. Some believe he's innocent, claiming he's the victim of a setup, while others are convinced that the truth is finally coming to light. In today's social media-driven world, where every opinion is amplified, the debate is raging. Many of Diddy's longtime collaborators have remained silent, distancing themselves from the controversy, while others have spoken out, either offering support or expressing shock at the allegations. One thing is clear: the longer Diddy stays in prison, the more his reputation suffers. And in the world of celebrities, reputation is everything. The court of public opinion can be just as damaging as the legal process itself. As more details about the charges emerge, public perception of Diddy continues to shift. The question now is, can he recover from this, or has the damage already been done?
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
At the same time, rumors are swirling about what's really happening behind the scenes. Some claim Diddy is still pulling strings from inside the prison, using his connections to try to influence the outcome of his case. Others speculate that his legal team is negotiating a plea deal, which could reduce his sentence in exchange for an admission of guilt. But for now, this is all just speculation. What's certain is that this case is far from over, and there are likely many more twists and turns ahead. There's also been a lot of talk about how the entertainment industry is responding. Several companies that once eagerly worked with Diddy are now distancing themselves. His partnerships are falling apart, and deals that were in progress have been put on hold indefinitely. It's as if the entire industry is watching and waiting to see what happens next. No one wants to be associated with someone facing such serious charges, and the fallout is already starting to show. Diddy's media network, Revolt, has distanced itself, with him stepping down as chairman. And his other ventures, once thriving under his leadership, are now facing uncertainty. It's a domino effect. Diddy's personal downfall is beginning to impact everything he's built over the years.
There are some problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
But perhaps the most chilling aspect of all this is the possibility that if these allegations are true, there may be even more people involved. The stories about those freak-off parties suggest a network of individuals who either participated or turned a blind eye to what was happening. If the rumored tapes ever surface, the fallout could be even greater. High-profile names, people we never expected, could be dragged into the scandal. It's a tangled web, and as the investigation continues, more secrets are likely to come to light. While Diddy sits in his cell, the world outside is buzzing with speculation. The media is hungry for details, the public is waiting for justice, and his legal team is working tirelessly to salvage what's left of his career. But one thing is certain: Diddy's future is hanging in the balance. Whether he's found guilty or not, his image has been shattered, and a comeback from something this explosive seems difficult to imagine. So what do you think? Is this the end of Diddy's empire, or will he manage to clear his name and bounce back from these shocking allegations? Do you believe the rumors about those infamous tapes? And if they do surface, who else could be caught in this scandal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this ongoing case. We'll see you in the next video.